we haven't been able to talk about reopening the economy in quite some time. But the real catalyst in the overnight gains is seeing this potential treatment. And down at the University of Chicago, which is right off of Lake Michigan here in Chicago in Hyde Park, we did see some really positive results. About 125 people in this test, and 113 of them were severely ill. So when you see this treatment, which actually was used, Dom, for SARS as well as MERS many, many years ago, but when you see that type of encouragement, you're seeing a pop. Of course, Gilead is popping. You're seeing the NASDAQ futures, the S&P futures. This is continued optimism. So I think it really is a 1-2 punch, and we're going to celebrate that in the markets again today.
How much of a focus for investors since the real outbreak in the United States, maybe we'll say back in January, February, and certainly into the shutdowns in March, how much investor focus has been squarely on the healthcare sector and specifically biotechnology companies?
Yeah, it's been a laser focus of ours. And if you look at back in late March when you saw a lot of turmoil, we actually bought IBB. And if you look at IBB, some of the names in there, Gilead, Horizon Therapeutics, Amgen, some of these names which maybe were felt a little favor going into election year. We haven't even talked about that, but now all of a sudden they're back in favor. So you're seeing Gilead this morning really see a nice pop, but high tide lifts all boats, Dom. So right now owning IBB, that's the ETF that can give you that broader swath or some of those specific names, I think really gives you an opportunity because we have a global sense of urgency into biotech we've never seen before. So this gets really exciting for some of these single names that maybe haven't had a development as of late, but we are going to see high tide lift all boats.
All right, so that's the biotech side of things. Let's talk a little bit broader in terms of the overall market, Jeff. There's been a curious development over the past week or so in that the relative performance of the S&P 500, right, the market cap weighted S&P 500, versus the equal weighted S&P 500 has started to move lower, meaning it continues to be just a handful of very large companies driving the outsized returns since the lows that we saw last month. How does that make you feel?
Well, Dom, it's a trend that we saw in 2019, but you hit the nail on the head. In 2019, the S&P 500 was up over 30%. 15%, nearly half of that, was attributed to Apple and Microsoft. So here we are again seeing a handful of names, specifically Amazon, really attracting assets. So it is a little bit alarming that you're seeing such a concentration, but this is the new normal. We are seeing tech provide leadership. We continue to see relative strength in tech, but names like Microsoft, Apple, Intel, we're going to continue to see them do well in this new normal as consumer behavior certainly is going to be augmented in the wake of the coronavirus.
All right, let's talk about the traders' take on this from your view. Seeing what's happening in the futures market right now, seeing what's happened over the past couple of weeks as we've bounced off the lows, are you comfortable buying into this rally as we see it today?
We're adding into this position. We got bullish a couple weeks ago, which was kind of a lonely view, Dom, but we are 700 points off of the bottom of the S&P 500, knocking on 2,900. So pretty remarkable. Not quite a straight line up, but pretty darn near a straight line up in this recovery. So we talk about all the different letters of the alphabet and what type of recovery, but I think a lot of the recent gains in the S&P 500 was due to the indiscriminate selling that we saw in the month of March. It was oversold. We saw a lot of algorithm trading happen to push the whole indice lower. There's no real reason, in my opinion, that we're under 2,200 in the S&P 500. But this price discovery, we don't see price discovery like this too often. So I don't think we're going to reach new all-time highs anytime soon. I think there is a little bit of a dislocation. You're seeing banks really have a hard time getting going in earnings season. You're seeing small caps lag as well. But I am optimistic. So I think, yes, the rally still has some legs here.